Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places. By Academy Sports and Outdoors, donating $100 for each Astros home run and $200 for each Correa dinger to Houston Children's Charity. And by Southwest Airlines, transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. And one of the peaks around town, the Seattle Aquarium. A lot of great places here in Seattle. The Astros enjoyed the ballpark right here, Safeco Field, last night, where the Astros picked up a 6-0 win, their 7th shutout for the pitching staff on the season. Pitched very well, led by Colin McHugh, and the bats were alive, as Jeff Blum was talking about. And they'll try to stay alive tonight. That Astros lineup brought to you by Southwest Airlines. For the Houston Astros, George Springer again in the top spot. Yuli Gurriel and Altuve follow. Carlos Correa, Evan Gattis, and Marwin Gonzalez in the middle 3 spots. The bottom 3, Teoscar Hernandez, Tyler White, and Jake Marisnick. And the first pitch of the night misses on George. So we're underway. The Astros have already watched the Detroit Tigers get beaten today by Cleveland in 10 innings. It's a ball and a strike on George. And that's great news, as the Astros are finding themselves maybe moving in that direction of that second wild card shot. Starting temperature tonight, 65 degrees. George Springer 0 for 4 in last night's game. Struck out a couple of times, did draw a walk. And fouls it on the right side. James Paxton, Canadian-born left-hander out of British Columbia, has yielded a batting average against this year to all comers, .291. Inside corner caught. George Springer caught looking, and the first out of the night. And that has become more and more the sight for George. A lot of pitches in.
Here's a look at Paxton's numbers, making that 18th start on the season.
Right-hand hitters hitting .294 against him. And Yuli swings right through the heater. Gurriel hitting .329. He's hit 3 home runs now, getting very comfortable in the major leagues. And he's handled about everything he has seen. Pops it up on the right side, shallow, and coming on to make the play, Seth Smith, second out of the night.
Paxton's fastball averaging around 97 miles an hour. Hitters are hitting .323 against that fastball, though, and he's throwing a lot more sliders and breaking balls these days, trying to get those guys off the fastball.
And for whatever reason, the Astros hitters have not had as much success against lefties as they've had against the right-handers this year. You look at the lineup, it's hard to figure out why that might be the case. Jose Altuve swung the bat very well last night. He went 2 for 5, could have been better. A couple of errors charged with him at the plate. Had a double off the left field wall. And for Altuve, just continues to lead the league in hitting. Comes in at .341. .401 the on-base percentage. Shows bunt, takes the breaking ball high. Leads the Astros in RBIs. He's driven in 94. Carlos Correa next at 91. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Altuve. As a team, the Astros start the night 77-70. Their high water mark, 10 games over 500. They've done it multiple times this year. And that's exactly what the Mariners found themselves with in terms of record coming into last night's game. So they've slipped to 9 games over now. And Scott Servais, very fine job in his first year as the head man with Seattle. And A.J. Hinch trying to lead his ball club to a 2nd straight campaign into the postseason. 2-2 on Altuve. Paxton, 27 years of age, 18th start on the year, and the 48th of his major league career. Bringing the gas at 99.
That gun is a little sauced up here.
That's what I think too.
Seattle. Yesterday we saw a couple extra miles an hour on Colin McHugh's fastball, but I'm just not buying. I mean, Paxton throws hard, but 99 hard.
Off speed, pop to shallow right field. Easy for Smith. Couple of putouts in the inning. A 1-2-3 frame as the Astros go down quietly in the first. Of the first inning, Mike Fiers on the hill for the Astros tonight, and he will face this lineup for the Seattle Mariners. Nori Aoki in the top spot, followed by left-hand hitting Seth Smith, also a lefty Robinson Cano. In the middle three, powerful Nelson Cruz, another power guy Kyle Seager, Dae-Ho Lee can slam it. Bottom three, Leonis Martin, Mike Zunino does the catching, Ketel Marte, one of the fine young shortstops.
On the mound, Mike Fiers, coming off that rough start against the Chicago Cubs back at home, where he only went 2 1/3 innings, gave up 7 earned runs through 61 pitches in that. He has a short, brief history against the Seattle Mariners. He pitched against them earlier this season, went 3 1/3 innings, giving up 4 earned runs, 3 home runs in that ball game.
So Mike Fiers set to work, trying to turn things around, brings a high strike. 89 on the heater from Mike. Aoki hitting .269. Slashes one the other way. Just 3 home runs on his year. He has spent some time in the minor leagues this season. On base percentage .336, so he's about average. Taps that curveball foul. Fiers took the loss last time out that Blummer talked about. He got roughed up in that one. And what does a guy do to try to turn around this late in the season a rough outing? Back up the middle. Leadoff single Aoki. Well, Mike Fiers gets touched up immediately now as Seattle comes up with a base hit. It'll bring up Seth Smith.
I don't know. It feels like when Mike Fiers, it just feels like he's always pitching out of damage, whether it's created via the walk, which he has been very good about not giving up. Didn't give up any walks in that, or gave up 2 walks in that game against the Chicago Cubs. But there just always seems to be guys on base for Mike Fiers, and I think that's why that pitch count becomes a little more elevated, because he's pitching in those high stress situations.
Smith with 14 home runs on his season. Takes a strike to start it. Very patient hitter. Smith last night went 0 for 3. Did strike out once against Colin McHugh. McHugh so good, 7 inning shutout ball, just 2 hits allowed. Walked a pair and struck out 6. And they've got him on the pickoff. Aoki is nabbed. So 1-3 on that pickoff, and the first out recorded for Mike Fiers.
That's one way to get out of it. Just go ahead and get him on and show some quick feet. I'm not sure how Aoki got picked off right there. Just kind of hesitated a little bit.
And it looks like the Mariners are reviewing things to find out if Scott Servais is going to ask for the umpires to do the same.
I love this part of replay.
I really wish this would wind up just being in the laps of the manager and his bench coach rather than a team of reviewers up in the clubhouse. But this is the way it is. First out of the night, nobody on base now. Seth Smith with an 0-1 count. The 7 earned runs allowed last time out by Fiers, a season high for Mike. That changeup could prove to be effective tonight. Prior to that last start for Mike Fiers, he had allowed 3 or less runs in 4 consecutive starts. Tries to get Smith with the curveball. Nice job by Evan Gattis. Always keep in mind with a couple of strikes, that breaking ball, you've got to be able to block it, keep it in front. 27th start on the season for Fiers, 28th outing overall. And the curveball stays high. That evens the count. The Astros had 9 hits last night. Seattle just 3. So quite an effort by McHugh, Hoyt, and Sipp. Two-two pitch. Line. That's through the left side. Only one man on that side. And that ball was stung. Back-to-back hits here in the first inning. It'll bring up 3-hitter Robinson Cano.
It was just a real nice piece of hitting. Fastball away, just go with it.
Ball fading that way anyway, and Smith just goes with it beautifully. Long night for Cano last night, 0 for 4. He and Nelson Cruz, the 3-4 hitters, 0 for 7 overall. And if you can hold those guys quiet like that, and Kyle Seager went just 1 for 3 with a single, you're likely to have a good night against the M's. Cano hitting .296 as he comes in. It's been fairly quiet in the month of September, and that was talked about last night as well, that Seattle had won 8 straight and not getting a whole lot out of Cano, although Nelson Cruz has been a big man. Hit to first, Tyler White, or rather Marwin, able to knock it down and get the out himself. But I think Marwin initially on that one-hop shot had thoughts of second base. Into second base is Smith. 2 outs now for Nelson Cruz.
I think it was self-preservation. That ball was smoked off the bat of Cano.
That it was.
Stayed back nicely on that breaking ball. Yeah, not easy. Holding the guy on. Then you get an in-between hop like that. I thought he did a tremendous job of just keeping that ball in the vicinity to be able to get the out.
And Mike Fiers was alertly on the scene. Marwin's done a great job, and we talked about the fact that he's played so much at first base this year. But 13 home runs kind of validates his offensive side playing at first base, and the defensive side, no questions at all. Curveball for a strike to start against Cruz.
Been a real luxury having him to be able to play first.
Yes, it has been. Another big year for Nelson Cruz. Among the leaders in the league in home runs with 37, driving in 92. He's hit 15 home runs right here in Seattle. And over the past week hitting .429, so he's been big impact player during the run for Seattle. Ground ball slowly hit to short. Carlos Correa takes his time. And there go the M's in the first inning. They get a couple of hits and leave a man. We played one scoreless from Seattle. We played one scoreless from Seattle. Game 2 of this 3-game series. We go to the top of the second inning. Got our Bank of America alert, and it's a good one here this evening. The Indians defeat the Tigers 1-0 in 10 innings. The Indians have had their way with those Detroit Tigers this year. What that means is the Tigers fall back. If the Astros can win tonight, they'll be right even with Detroit. It also would mean a loss for Seattle and leave the Astros with nobody between them and a wild card spot, other than whether you look at the Orioles or Blue Jays there sharing that second spot. So the Astros could, if they do the work needed tonight, find themselves in a much better spot than they were just a couple of days ago. Carlos Correa leads off here in the second. Carlos went 1 for 4 last night, drove in a run, drew a walk. The RBI number 91. He's been quiet in that department recently. Correa down in the count 1-2. It'll be Correa, Gaddis, and Marwin Gonzalez here in the second inning. They pulled the roof back maybe an hour ago during batting practice early on. They had it closed. Had some rain in the area early on in the day. No trains to run the roof here, but kind of the same operation. Breaking ball got him. Correa down on strike. Second strikeout for Paxton.
That slider. Paxton doesn't walk many guys. He attacks that strike zone, so a little bit different in the sense that the Astros may have to, tune up that aggressiveness a little bit on the fastball early in counts.
Brings up Evan Gaddis, who slammed his 27th home run in last night's game. Tied for the team leadership now. And that tie is with George Springer. 1 for 4 for Evan last night. Also drew a walk, hitting .247. Drills one, but right at the first baseman Lee. The catch is recorded, and the second out of the inning. Dae-Ho Lee down at first base, affectionately known as Pig Tiger.
If you say so.
I saw you chatting with him earlier today. Did you
Nope.
call him Pig?
Nope. I have never said a word to Dae-Ho Lee in my life, unless he's the trainer or massage therapist for the Houston Astros.
Marwin stands in, hits one down the right field side. Smith on the move and makes a nice running grab. Heading right into that right field corner. So Marwin, a bid for extra bases, comes up shy a 1-2-3 second. Through 1.5, we are scoreless. And take a look what a major league hitter has to endure.
We are back in Seattle. Roof is closing. Some rain threatening. Astros and Seattle Mariners here. Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite.
So they've run the roof back and forth now, and we go to the bottom of the second inning. Kyle Seager leads it off, takes the curveball for a strike. One of the big men in the lineup, 29 home runs. When he gets to 30, if he does this year, that'll make 3 Seattle Mariners with 30-plus dingers. They can slam the long ball, and they score a lot of runs. Seattle's offense 5th in the league in runs scored, 3rd in home runs. Don't run a whole lot. They've stolen just 47 bags as a team. Line drive to left. Teoscar comes on and makes the play. Froze momentarily, but able to recover. With 1 out, it brings up HOU, the first baseman. Teoscar maybe hasn't gotten as much time as he would have liked in left field, but that's part of the nature of being in that race to get into postseason play. But he's had some big swings for the team. HOU has 14 bombs this year. Inside edge, 0-2 now on Lee. Again, they call him Pig Tiger. Also Big Boy. Hails from South Korea. 34 years of age. And he has a proven track record of being a power hitter. And he's got his fans here. It would appear they may be looking for the long ball. .323 international home runs over the career of HOU. Broken bat, ground ball to short. Correa comes on. And the second out of the inning. Brings up the center fielder, Leonis Martin. Correa playing good, steady shortstop. Martin, slick center fielder for the M's. And that curveball, a big part of what Mike Fiers has started the night with. Mike Fiers, one of 3 Astros pitchers now with double-digit wins this year. Joins Doug Fister and Colin McHugh. No Dallas Keuchel on that list. And if the Astros, Blummer, find a way to succeed without Bregman right now, and Dallas Keuchel and Lance McCullers, they do something very special.
Yeah, I agree. Those are 3 big pieces.
AJ just keeps it even keel all the time. Would you call him a player's manager or otherwise?
It's tough sitting in this seat just because we are not in there during the game and we don't have access completely to what's going on. I mean, he is obviously very open with us, which I truly appreciate.
Yes.
But I think that he would be.
That would be in my impression. Fly ball to center field. Jake puts it away, and that'll do it. A 1-2-3 second inning. Through 2. Scoreless game.
Last night, Colin McHugh told us that before his outing, he had talked to other starting pitchers, including the young ones, Joe Musgrove, saying, we need to empty the tank right now. We need to give it all we got. We need to help out this club, including the bullpen. That's exactly what he did last night. Our Kubota pitching performance shows us what he did. 7 innings strong for Colin. What a huge boost for this club and for the bullpen, like I mentioned, but just 2 hits against this steaming hot Mariners team. They were rolling when they came into last night, but Colin McHugh's had success against them all season long, and once again last night, guys.
And it was a big one, as Julius says. Again, putting the Astros in a spot. They didn't gain any ground overnight on the wild card spot itself. They didn't lose, however, with picking up the win. But they are slipping by clubs. And again tonight, so big for the Astros to try to get even with these Mariners and even with the Tigers and stop having those clubs you have to leapfrog. 0-2 pitch from Paxton is inside. For the Astros, it's Teoscar Hernandez, Tyler White, and Jake Marisnick. 7, 8, 9 in the order. Teoscar has hit 4 home runs since joining the club. Breaking ball gets the outside edge. Maybe a little broader strike zone tonight than we saw last night.
But Paxton is not afraid to come after that strike zone with his stuff. A little more of a curveball, but yeah, a little bit off that outside corner. Didn't fully come back onto the plate.
Didn't really see that last night. That's Paul Emmel behind the plate. Alfonso Marquez, David Rackley, and Chris Guccione, the umpires around the infield, first to third. Big swing and a miss by Tyler White. And Tyler has come back to the club, in my estimation, swinging much more aggressively, maybe trying to do the things that earned him that Player of the Week award, week 1 of the year. 1-1 the count on Tyler. And he looks also to me to have slimmed down considerably. One from Paxton. Ground ball right side. Cano shaded up the middle. Second out of the inning.
The most popular way to follow the Astros postseason push is with MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball. Enjoy game day, live game video highlights, StatCast, news, and more. Get MLB.com at bat on your favorite device now.
See George Springer waiting on deck. He's the leadoff man. Jake Marisnick has hit in 4 straight and had one of the very big swings last night, maybe the biggest one. Double that drove in the game's first 2 runs. The Astros took that 2-0 lead and ran with it, eventually winning 6-0. Good breaking ball. Paxton looks sharp to start his evening. We mentioned that he's Canadian born, did attend the University of Kentucky, where he pitched between 07 and 09. And he was originally drafted by the Toronto Blue Jays. He chose not to sign with Toronto. Jake down on strikes on that breaking ball. 4th strikeout already for Paxton. We go to the bottom of the 3rd. Still a scoreless game. Inning, game 2 of this 3-game series. And we now take a look at our MD Anderson Making Cancer segment. Moment in history. Fernando Valenzuela, he was pretty darn good as a rookie with the Dodgers. 8th shutout of the year came against the Astros in that one. 13-7 that year, 2.48 ERA. Great screwball. And I personally never found a way to hit the guy.
One of the more unique windups in all of baseball, too.
Yeah, as he'd look to the sky.
Yeah, and then come right back at you. But, you know, that arm action, it's got to be so unnatural for a hitter to see a ball react that way out of a pitcher's hand. Especially left-handed, hitting right-handed, having that thing fade away from you a little bit with the screwball action.
And it was mostly downward, but
really,
yeah, he really would get on top of the thing. It was like
just a
nearly comparable to what we call the 12-6, but breaking slightly the other way.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Looking for a complete game.
There's Fernando.
Screwball. Fernando Valenzuela has opened the 1981
Just can't imagine the flexibility of having to, you know, turn your elbow and your wrist the other way.
And why is it that it seems through the years left-handers by far outweigh the right-handers in ability to throw the screwball? I don't have a clue. 2-2 the count as Fires faces the 8-hitter Mike Zunino. Mike Marshall, another Dodger for a period of his career, was a right-hander who had the great screwball, and he was the guy that I couldn't even tell you what the numbers were, but just a ridiculous number of games pitched in and innings pitched as a reliever.
Well, didn't he win the Cy Young one year?
I believe he
did,
yes.
150 innings.
Strikeout picked up by Mike Fiers on Zunino. First strikeout for Mike. That's curveball, Bert Blyleven. That certainly is a name that would come to mind. Best slider, Ron Guidry, right over the top on that pitch. Mario Soto had a killer changeup. And thanks for putting the numbers up there on Fernando. I'm not sure how I got those 4 hits, but it was not pretty. And I do appreciate those numbers very much.
It's when you went up there with Nolan Ryan's bat. Got those 4
Actually,
hits.
that would have been a great idea.
I did that a couple times when I was facing a guy that I didn't have a lot of success against. I said, why am I going to keep using my bats when I know there's plenty of hits in a pitcher's bat?
That brings me back to a story that I remember fairly well, at least well enough to screw it up in a retelling right here. But
just make sure you exaggerate.
Yeah. Ketel Marte at the plate. Billy Hatcher had a game during probably the '86 season, and he wound up breaking a bat, and it turned out to be Dave Smith's bat, but it was fully loaded.
Oh man!
And stuff went all over the place, and
contraband everywhere.
And so Billy immediately said, "It's not my bat. It's Dave Smith's bat."
Threw him right under the bus.
Yeah, that bus was not to be moved at that point either. And it was one of those classic moments.
The classic "he did it" moment.
Don't blame me.
Yeah, me no.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, maybe we'll get to you telling that story in a moment.
No, we're good.
2-2 pitch, grounded left side, and that's a foul ball. That shift on almost got burned with that ground ball. 2-2 the count. We're in the 3rd inning. And nothing but zeros in the runs column.
Were you guys able to confirm that it was?
Well, it was clearly Dave Smith's bat.
Okay, so it had his name.
The story goes beyond that. Yeah.
I love these.
Yeah. Paul Harvey would tell that there was more to the story. Swing and a miss by Marte. Back-to-back strikeouts here in the inning. 2 on the night for Fiers. Well, let's just say that the bat was well sampled in batting practice previous days. So
I like it.
Yeah.
Good job by Fiers battling back. Snuck that foul ball just outside the line. Get back with that fastball up in the zone.
And now back to the top of the order. Nori Aoki had a base hit to lead things off in the first, but then was promptly picked off by Fiers. Good curveball to start him. So yeah, you know how those stories go.
Oh yeah.
But I guess when a guy's got his name printed on the bat, it's hard to deny whose bat it was. Drive to right field. Springer playing shallow, can't get back, and this one's up against the wall. Aoki with a 2-out double as the throw comes back in, slips on by Correa. Aoki aboard at second for Seth Smith.
Aoki actually drove that ball. But again, we talk about the shifts being on for the Astros outfielders. They'll play shallow against guys like Aoki, trying to take away that drop shot in front of them. But right here, you see Aoki drive it over the head of George Springer.
20th double on the year for Aoki. Seth Smith had a base hit to left field. Just gorgeous hitting in the first inning. He was stranded. The Mariners now with 3 hits on the night. The Astros yet to pick up a hit. Maybe the changeup to start things. Smith will watch some pitches, and he's drawn 40 walks this season. Right over the top again. Wonder if Mike Fiers watched Colin McHugh again last night and thought, yeah, maybe I turn to that pitch now.
I was thinking the same thing, because McHugh had a very good one. We talked about the get me over, that he can throw for a strike anytime he wants. And then you see the good breaking ball to get that swing and miss. But if you have that good breaking ball going for Mike Fiers, it makes that fastball a little bit more effective also.
Fires, brings the 0-2. The high heat and the weak swing, and a strikeout recorded, 3 in the inning. 2-out double. He's stranded. We played 3, and it's a scoreless game.
Let you vote on our Stro poll. Make sure you go to @BruteSportsSW to vote. Which classic lefty would you have least liked to have faced? Sandy Koufax, Fernando Valenzuela. We saw some of his numbers. We know what Ash's answer would be. There were a couple more on that list. Randy Johnson was one of them.
No, the thing
and
is,
the last one was Steve Carlton.
Well, the thing is, you would have gotten it wrong, because I could have gone up and struck out 10 times in a row against Koufax and had a great time doing it. I mean, I just would have loved to have had that opportunity. Mariners come in hard on George, and we're seeing a lot of that with Springer lately. You know, I thought of, in terms of names to put on that list, a guy I never really watched pitch, I don't think, Warren Spahn, 363 career wins. 1-2 now as Springer swings through the heater.
He had one of the more deceptive deliveries, I think, in all of baseball history.
High leg kick.
He also bought that glove in front of the arm.
Yeah, he also had the screwball.
Did he?
Yes.
Man.
That was a key pitch for Spahn. I had him as a pitching coach in an early season after coming to the big leagues. And yeah, it was a different age of coaching, but he would still go out and throw batting practice occasionally and throw you screwballs and stuff, which was very helpful to get ready for a night.
Yeah, way to lock me in.
And by the way, for the fans who maybe don't know, batting practice for hitters is about getting loose and gaining confidence. It's not about facing the toughest pitch that's ever been thrown and feeling like you've got no chance at all to get a hit. So
sometimes that wasn't always the BP pitcher's fault.
Yeah. 2-2 pitch popped up on the right side. Dae-Ho Lee, and out number 1.
You know, a guy who's going to probably go into the Hall of Fame, Jeff Bagwell. He took some of the worst batting practice I had ever seen in my life. And I remember getting traded over from Montreal to Houston in 2002. And I'm like, man, I get to go watch Jeff Bagwell play every day. He took that first round of BP. I don't know who was standing next to me. I was like, is this guy for real?
You know, they talk about 5 o'clock hitters. That means guys that put on shows in batting practice. That was not Jeff Bagwell.
No.
He was a 7 o'clock hitter.
Man.
And you're right. I've watched him. It was not pretty at all. What he would try to do, as we look at Yuli Gurriel at the plate, is just flare a few balls to right field.
Literally.
See the ball a long time. And then inning 1 would come and watch out.
Oh, man, yeah. Especially if Bish was on base. All of a sudden it turned into bullet in the gap.
You know, another guy that was a great player who took batting practice a lot the same way, better, but a lot that way, was Buddy Bell.
Really?
Yeah. Yuli pops it up to right field. Second time tonight for Gurriel, and the second time he's retired with a fly ball to right field. 2 down in the 4th. It brings up 3-hitter Jose Altuve. And by the way, we did not mention in the first at bat for Altuve as he flied to right field that in last night's game picked up his 40th double on the season and scored his 100th run. So he's put up a load of serious numbers this year. Still hitting .341.
There's actually a great note regarding that 100th run for Altuve. And this is the first time the Astros have had multiple players with 100 runs or more since 2004 when Bagwell, Biggio, and Berkman did it.
So George Springer on that list, and George leads the club in runs scored. If you're looking at the American League batting race, and I believe this is up to the moment, .341 Altuve. Dustin Pedroia has put on quite a run over August and September. He's at .327. Altuve, ground ball to the right side. Cano glides and makes the play, and a 1-2-3 inning. And for the Astros, that's 12 in a row retired now by James Paxton.
Fourth. Astros are celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month with the Hispanic Heritage Street Fest presented by Fiesta next Saturday from 3 to 6. Enjoy live Latin music, food trucks, and games. And fans must have a valid ticket to the Angels game to enter. For more information, visit astros.com/Hispanic Heritage or call 1-877-9-ASTROS. Ash.
Thank you much, Julia. We go to the bottom of the 4th inning, scoreless game. Robinson Cano leads off, hits a dribbler back to the mound, easy for Fiers. And with one pitch, he gets his first out here in the 4th. And Cano now 0 for 2 on the night, 0 for 6 in the series.
As hard as he hit that first one, he did not square that one up at all.
And again, that curveball plays in for Fiers. Brings up the cleanup man, Nelson Cruz. Mariners with 3 hits on the night. They've come in the top 2 spots of the order. Aoki with a pair, a single and a double. Seth Smith is 1 for 2. Strike on the inside edge. Gaddis had set up away, but able to make that call. Paul Emmel. And we mentioned that batting race. Altuve leading over Dustin Pedroia. David Ortiz and Mike Trout hanging around, as is Mookie Betts. Another ground ball. Yuli makes the play in the second out here in the inning. With 2 down, bases empty, it brings up Kyle Seager. Yeah, we were just looking at Altuve right there. We didn't know if he was going to play in yesterday's game. A.J. Hinch didn't know until a very impressive early session of batting practice, and Altuve impressed everybody to the extent that he got in there and swung the bat very well. But the club obviously needs him down the stretch now. With tonight's game, 15 games to finish. And we projected roughly 88 wins is the figure, maybe 89 to get into the postseason.
Going to take a pretty healthy run to finish off this season to get to that point.
So you got 15 with tonight's game, 11 more wins to get to 88. So yeah, really have to play well. But last night's win, a big step in that direction, as was the final win against the Texas Rangers at home. Two and one the count. Seager takes away. And then you glance back at the loss in game 2 against the Rangers and how it came about in the 9th inning. Awfully tough to stomach, but the club has turned it right back around. Again, that changeup splitter for Fiers. It's not a guy you want to make a mistake on right here. I think of Eddie Matthews when I think of great left-hand power hitting third baseman some years ago. So when I see Seager, that's kind of a name that comes to mind. But I guess a lot of that is from our generations when we grow up, and some of the guys that just put up big numbers. Hall of Famer Eddie Matthews, over 500 career home runs. Seager already with 125. And he's 28 years of age. Hit in the air to left center field. It's Teoscar Hernandez with the play. And a 1-2-3 fourth for Fiers. So two pitchers matching each other. It's scoreless after 4.
And we are going to look at some scores that are going to have an impact on what happens to the Astros moving forward. A final up there in the Northeast between the Yankees and Red Sox. Yankees getting beat down. Tigers losing a tough one in 10 innings to the Cleveland Indians with a walk-off from Jose Ramirez. Rays and Orioles going at it. Rays taking care of business. They're playing spoiler in that American League East. Blue Jays a little bit further south of us, taking on the Angels. The Blue Jays, interestingly, will also be here after we get done in Seattle. Take on these Mariners.
Boy, those are some great results from the Astros perspective.
Absolutely.
And now you have to take care of business yourself. Try to make it 2 straight in this series. Carlos Correa leads off in the 5th inning. James Paxton has no hit the Astros through the first 4. In fact, Perfect effort to this point. Not a base runner for the Astros. Correa, Gaddis, and Marwin Gonzalez here in the 5th. Right on the hands, and that slow roller to shortstop. Marte, who had a couple of errors charged to him last night, makes the play. 1 out in the 5th.
Getting all up in the kitchen at Carlos Correa. Jamming him with that 97-mile-an-hour fastball. Well, we're seeing early on good location on 3 different pitches from Paxton. We're seeing the fastball, slider, and the curveball.
Should be no surprise for Carlos Correa and George Springer right about now. A lot of fastballs are being pumped in on them.
And that's not that they can't get to the inside pitch, but 97 on the inside is a little bit tougher.
That is a different story. Evan Gaddis takes a strike on the breaking ball.
But that right there is a big deal, being able to get ahead with the off-speed pitches, not allowing the Astros to sit on the fastball. Because for me as a hitter, I was trying to eliminate pitches out of the pitcher's repertoire to give me a chance, or maybe put the odds in my favor to guess right. If I noticed that the pitcher was not getting his off-speed pitches over early, I could eliminate that from my thought process and just sit on the fastball.
And to your point, after that leadoff breaking ball for a strike, heater right back on the hands. It's 0-2. Well, you look at some of the numbers on the season for Paxton, it's hard to believe based on what we're seeing here tonight. Right-hand hitters have hit 294 against him. The lefties have hit 278.
Well, that's a theme in his career. In his career, right-handers are hitting 243. Left-handers in the career against Paxton are hitting 302.
Well, then I would say he's improved his breaking ball, because a guy that has a really good breaking ball as a left-hander generally does not get touched up by left-hand hitters.
Yep.
But again, those numbers that we're talking about add up to a 291 batting average against Paxton on the season. And yet the Astros looking for their first hit of the night.
The Astros faced Paxton last time in June, or July 15th. I apologize. And Paxton only went 5 innings. He gave up 9 hits, 6 earned runs.
Now, we mentioned on the open today the fact that the Astros are going to see some left-handed starters right about now, and it's coming up as they face another left-hander, I believe, tomorrow, and then on into Oakland. A.J. Hinch was talking about the fact that the Astros are going to see a little grouping now of left-handed starters. Ariel Miranda goes for Seattle tomorrow as Gaddis stays alive. And Miranda is one of those lefties, so back-to-back days here, games 2 and 3 against the Mariners. Sean Manaea goes in that opener in Oakland, another left-hander. And Gaddis down on strikes.
No, that ball
is that fouled at the plate?
Well, that's what AJ is going to question, but it was swung on, tipped, but it ended up out in front of home plate. Zunino picked it up quickly and tagged him.
I see. Yeah, I got to looking at numbers, and I apologize.
It's amazing.
One confusion for a lot of people is they'll say, well, it hit the plate. The plate's fair. And furthermore, you can hit a ball that starts foul and winds up fair, and that's a fair ball, as long as it happens before the bases. So 2 unassisted on that put out of Gaddis. Second out of the inning. Marwin Gonzalez stands in, stung it. Line drive into the right field corner, but a nice run and grab by Smith to get him back in the second. Marwin hitting .255. Hit that 13th home run last night. That's a career best for Marwin. And the 43 RBIs, also the best of his career. Very valuable guy. Marwin 2 for 4 last night with the home run. And against Seattle this year, he's torn it up. 356. Towering pop on the left side. Big swing producing this pop up. Seager calling. And that'll do it for the Astros. Another 1-2-3 inning. 15 in a row retired by left-hander James Paxton.
The Astros and Mariners. Jack in the Box is going to take us inside the box score. Most wins versus a single opponent since 2014. Colin McHugh, 9 wins against these Seattle Mariners. We talked about how comfortable he is here at Safeco Field. 6-0 record alone here. Bartolo Colon against the Phillies. Zach Greinke against the Giants. Sonny Gray taking on those Rangers, beating them 8 times.
Fires set for the 5th inning of work. Powerful right-hand hitter Dae-Ho Lee at the plate, grounded to shortstop in the 2nd. Mariners with 3 hits, the Astros without a base runner tonight. So James Paxton perfect through 5. Watch your lips down there.
Yeah, that ball got in the stands quick.
Final in now. Tampa Bay has defeated Baltimore 5-2. And that Orioles club, one of the teams the Astros are watching very closely. Dae-Ho Lee timed that curveball pretty well. Counted 1-2. It's Lee, Martin, and Zunino here.
Dae-Ho Lee had a good long look at that breaking ball.
You are so correct on that. Again, Evan Gattis really settling in as a catcher now.
I love how aggressive he is at blocking the baseball.
Yeah, he does a nice job, doesn't he?
Yeah. I've been thoroughly impressed with him behind home plate.
Orioles ace Chris Tillman took the loss tonight for the Baltimore team. 16-6 now with the loss. And I don't know who these Tampa Bay Rays are, but playing some pretty good baseball right now. Evan Longoria slammed his 35th of the year. Also had a triple.
He's getting close to 100 RBIs too, isn't he?
He is very close right now. 94. Hit to short. Carlos Correa takes plenty of time and gets the out.
Astro fans, don't forget, we love showing your comments and reactions from Twitter during our broadcast. Be sure to mention @RootSportsSW for the best chance to get your tweets on air.
And we've got the Astros fans hanging out. Little pop on the bunt and a diving effort by Gurriel as he comes up shy.
Great try.
This guy's really played well.
He looks comfortable in the big leagues.
He does. And he also looks, in my opinion, really good, which makes you comfortable.
Getting a chance to play third base now with Alex Bregman on the shelf with the hamstring issue.
And it doesn't look real good for Bregman for the remainder of the season. Fires with the 0-1 count. Curveball stays away this time. So the Orioles are now at 81-67, and they lose at home. They haven't lost a whole lot of times at home this year. Altuve to a knee. 2 ground ball outs here in the 5th inning. It brings up Mike Zunino. Zunino struck out in the 3rd inning. One of the 2 strikeouts picked up by Fiers this evening. The Astros have won 4 of the last 5 starts made by Mike Fiers. And the Astros are now in the midst of finishing the season 19 consecutive games within the American League West. 2-0 the count. One more with Seattle tomorrow, and then on to Oakland for 3. The Astros then come back home 4 with the Angels, 3 with these Mariners. Head out back west to face the Angels, 3 games, and that's it. That's where the finishing line comes. So again, counting tonight's game, 15, and the Astros looking for at least 11 more wins. Popped up left side. That'll be back to the seats. One bit of good news, the Astros are done with the Texas Rangers. But I think A.J. Hinch absolutely meant it when he said the other day he would love to face that club again this year. The obvious reasons: it would mean you're in the postseason. But at some point, that one-run ability of the Texas Rangers to win over the Astros is going to turn. Change got him. Fires with the strikeout. 2nd time on Zunino tonight. That's 3 on the night for Mike. Scoreless through 5 innings.
Score sheet you see in front of you right there in the top of the 6th inning here against James Paxton. Academy Sports and Outdoors are hitting homers for Houston. Home runs per at-bats this season. Houston Astros on there. Evan Gattis, 27 bombs. Does it every 14.85 ABs. Teoscar Hernandez quickly on that board here early on in his career.
And it's Teoscar leading it off. Hernandez, White, and Marisnick here in the 6th inning. James Paxton perfect through 5. He has struck out 3. Gotten 4 ground ball outs on the night. The only well-hit balls against Paxton, Evan Gattis lining out to first base in the 2nd inning, and then Marwin Gonzalez right on his heels lined out to the right field corner. Another game of interest for the Astros and their fans. The Angels are hosting Toronto through 4 innings. Angels lead over the Blue Jays 1-0. Albert Pujols has hit number 30 on his season.
That means.
And there's your first base runner. First base hit. Teoscar Hernandez takes care of it here, leading off the 6th inning. He's aboard for Tyler White.
Attaboy, Teoscar. Golf clap here in Safeco for James Paxton. Realized that he was perfect up until this point.
By the way, this crowd is filled in nicely as the game had its early innings.
You know who's filling in nicely is Teoscar. He has had
Yes,
some quality at bats here early on in his big league career.
Absolutely true.
But getting back to Albert Pujols, he becomes the 4th player in history with 14 seasons of 30-plus home runs, joining A-Rod, Hank Aaron, and Barry Bonds.
Those are insane numbers. 589 long balls on his career. He's going to get to 600. I mean, he's got, I believe, 5 more years on that historic deal with the Angels. Tyler White grounded out to second base, that in the 3rd.
First 2 pitches out of the stretch for James Paxton are out of the zone. Tyler White's got himself a hitting count.
By the way, Albert Pujols hit 40 home runs a year ago for the Angels. Line shot. That's a fair ball down the left field side. Did a fan touch it? No. Teoscar Hernandez into third base streaking. It's a double for White. And the Astros with their first 2 hits of the night, single and double. And they've got runners at 2nd and 3rd. Nobody out for 9-hitter Jake Marisnick.
It's a great 2-0 hack. Well positioned inside that left field line. Fortunately, it kicks off that wall that juts out where the fans are hanging out. That ball sneaks down the line. I guarantee you there's a chance Teoscar scores easy.
What are your thoughts in watching the swings of Tyler White right now?
I just like the aggressiveness. It looks like finally to me, because I didn't have a chance to watch him the first couple weeks of the season, but it looks to me like he is thinking swing first, take second, which I thoroughly enjoy seeing.
Which is what I thought I saw early on coming out of spring training for Tyler White, and then it changed. It seemed to flip-flop entirely 180. But the infield now draws in as Scott Servais sees a very tightly pitched game. Jake Marisnick grounds one slowly to 3rd. Seager holds the runners, and that's out number 1, a costly out in the 6th.
Well, they saw success last night with Jake Marisnick ambushing. He got that double to drive in 2 runs. Here, not so lucky.
And now it brings up the top of the order George Springer. They came in on Marisnick, and they've been doing the same thing on Springer, who's now 0 for his last 9. And a very big at bat for George. That infield remains in. They come in again and miss off the corner. Still 97 miles an hour for Paxton, throwing hard tonight, effective with the breaking pitches. Springer at 252. changeup from Paxton. It's 1-1. From the stretch, and now 1-2 on Springer. George has already struck out once tonight. 162 strikeouts for Springer on the season. And contact right now a mandate. Second time tonight. Springer down on strikes. Swings right through the high heater. And now runners still at second and third, but it's 2 outs in the hands of Yuli Gurriel.
Yeah, second and third, no outs. I'm with you, Ash. You'd like to see contact. I understand George has a swing that can be a difference maker and a game changer. But you have to get on the board. You had the luxury of getting the first 2 guys on base. Marisnick grounds out. Now the strikeout puts a lot of pressure on Yuli.
And they work inside. He starts the bat, holds it back. Gurriel has flied to right twice tonight. Or the off speed has had the hitters at the mercy of Paxton.
The fastball slider mix has been filthy.
Zunino with a very nice job. Ball and a strike on Yuli. Hit in the hole, left side, base hit. One will score. And now Tyler White sprinting to the plate. He will score. 2-run single as Yuli Gurriel comes up big in the 6th inning. The Astros take a 2-0 lead.
Pressure, so what? Yuli just said. This is a kid that is enjoying, not necessarily a kid in the sense he's 32 years old, but as far as his big league career is concerned, he's a kid. Did a good job of getting the hands up on top of that fastball and raking it through that 5.5 hole. And they are testing the arm of Aoki out there.
Great job, as Blummer says, from Gurriel. I would also add that Tyler White ran very well from second to home. So 2-0 Houston. Now Jose Altuve at the plate. Gurriel moved alertly into second base. Altuve 0 for 3, and they'll walk him intentionally. That'll bring up Carlos Correa. And I think it probably speaks right now to how the Mariners at least feel about the way Correa is swinging the bat. So the Astros did not have a base runner on the night through 5. They get the leadoff single from Hernandez. Tyler White doubles, putting runners at second and third, and then Marisnick grounds out. Runners can't advance. Springer strikes out, but Yuli Gurriel with a very big single to drive in a pair.
Lexus defensive rankings. And I think we got a pretty good idea of how they feel about Aoki out there in left field. They're going to run on that arm. They're relatively good athletes. We saw Seth Smith chase down a line drive off the bat of Marwin Gonzalez quite well, but Leonis Martin probably has the best arm out of all 3 of those guys.
Runners at first and second. And from what I've seen so far, Gurriel runs the bases well. Carlos Correa 0 for 2 with a strikeout and takes a ball close. RBI leaders on the Astros: Jose Altuve at 94, Carlos Correa 91. Yuli Gurriel has 12, but those are awfully big right now. Correa hits a fly ball to center. Martin back to his left just a bit. He'll make the catch. That'll do it for the Stros in the 6th. But 2 huge runs against Paxton as they leave a pair, and Gurriel with the big knock.
2 runs to lead the Seattle Mariners here. We're going to go back and check out what you guys thought about the Stroh poll and which lefty you would have least liked to have faced. Randy Johnson is the runaway winner. He was a tough matchup. He got me plenty of times.
I like to giggle watching people go to the plate facing those 4 guys.
Oh, man.
Yuli Gurriel. He has not had a bigger hit for the team than that base hit plating a pair. 2-0 Houston. To the bottom of the 6th we go. And Mike Fiers has shut down the Mariners through 5. Starts things with that breaking ball. 0-1 the count. 9-hitter Ketel Marte at the plate. Boy, if that doesn't settle you in with the team, nothing will.
Yeah, your street cred goes up when you start getting those 2-out RBIs.
Ground ball right side. Glove, nice play by Marwin. He'll feed on to Fiers, and the first out of the inning. Nice job defensively by the Astros.
Very nice. It's one thing to go over there and make the play, but also to pop up out of that slide and put yourself in position to give a good flip. Playing a very nice first base.
The Astros are 2nd in the American League in fielding percentage. They led much of the season. 1 out, top of the order. Nori Aoki at the plate has singled and doubled, but he's also been picked off after the first inning single. And that leadoff curveball has been really good for Fiers this evening.
Well, we've been talking all night about how effective Paxton was with his off speed early in counts to set up the fastball later. Fiers is doing much of the same. Just a little bit less velocity.
Half swing. Palms down at 3rd. Chris Guccione, who did a really good job behind the plate, I think, in our assessment last night with that palms down. Oh, that splitter changeup from Fiers, dynamite tonight. If he has patterned things after Colin McHugh, he's made a very wise choice. And now 3-2. Coming into play tonight, Fiers had struck out 45 in his last 47 and 2/3 innings. Started the year just over the strikeout per inning ratio rate. He has appeared to have a very good feel of the baseball this evening. Started the game with the roof open. They have closed it. Some ugly skies around the ballpark. And Aoki lays off the change. A 1-out walk. He's aboard for Seth Smith. Let's check in with Julia.
Thank you, Ash. Looking for the perfect location for your special event? Minute Maid Park provides elegant event spaces and high-end entertainment in one of Houston's most iconic sporting venues. Learn more about how you can have your event at Minute Maid Park by calling 713-259-8800 or by visiting astros.com/special events.
And we thank you, Julia. You can see that crowd is really filled in. About first pitch time, it was fairly sparse here. The Mariners started the night and still are 1 game in front of the Astros. But a win tonight for Houston would put them even with Seattle, who, again, when you start this series, the Mariners were 2 games in front of Houston in that wild card chase. The Tigers were in the same spot. They have lost today. And so the Astros can be even with those two clubs, but it's all about closing out this win. 2-0 the count. Another peek at it. The Blue Jays and Orioles have been the teams battling and holding on to the second wild card spot. In fact, the top two spots. Seattle and the Tigers just a notch ahead of the Astros, but the Astros in a position to pick up some very nice ground. Evan Gattis goes out to the hill. Kristovenski gets it loose for the Astros. When you talk about valuable players, that's a guy that you wouldn't wait long to hear about.
Yeah, he'd be very high on my list.
Shift on in the infield. Seth Smith has had a couple of weak swings on the high fastball.
Yeah, he's not enjoying that high fastball at all.
Struck out in the third on that same pitch, and a very similar swing. Smith waiting on the baseball a bit. Only one infielder on the left side. He's already shot one through that side.
He took a better pass at that high fastball. That kind of tells the pitcher that he's making the adjustment to that pitch up in the zone. Maybe he comes back with a breaking ball to see if he can get it, chase it, or just bury it in the ground, get himself a ground ball, turn two, get out of this thing.
Smith has faced the Astros a lot on his career, 64 games coming in, and he's launched 6 home runs against the Astros. Ground ball slowly hit right side. Altuve with the play, and the only play to first base. Fires alertly covering. Marwin had strayed wide to his right. Second out of the inning, into second base Aoki, and it brings up Robinson Cano.
Kind of looked like Marwin was going after that to try and get the play ahead of him. Just didn't really bend over to go get it.
Strategy time. Cano coming to the plate to follow Nelson Cruz. And to this point, each of these guys in the heart of the order have been quiet in the series.
Well, you got Devo warming up out there. He's tough with that fastball changeup. If his curveball's on, he's equally as tough on right-handers. But yeah, some decisions to be made right here. Pitch to Cano. If you don't put him on, Nelson Cruz has enough pop to put him ahead.
They're going to face Cano. Whether they intend to throw strikes, we will see. Pitch count at 83 for Fiers. He's been efficient throughout the ball game. And that curveball to start it missing away. "17 pitches back in the third inning, the longest inning for Mike. Again, the curveball and a strike call. 1 ball, 1 strike on Robinson Cano. Kyle Seager leads the Mariners in runs batted in, 93. Cruz at 92, and then it's Cano. Right on the hands, 1 ball and 2 strikes. So Fiers mixing it up on Cano.
Yeah, you don't see him chase too often. I know we talk about chasing a lot out of the zone, maybe off the plate, but you can also get a guy to chase up and in. He was guessing fastball to me right there because he laid off a couple of breaking balls early, got the fastball, but it was up and in and couldn't hold up the swing. There was some serious thinking going on between these two, Gattis and Fiers, trying to get this right. Cano
has put up extremely good numbers against right-hand pitching on the year. But Fiers trying to cross that up. 1-2, and Cano steps out. Cano has dipped in the second half in terms of batting average. Comes into play hitting .270 since the All-Star game. And gets a piece of the curveball. Hit .313 in the first half. And in the month of September, Cano hitting .246 coming into play tonight. He's 0 for 2. Again on the hands, again fouling it. Just a weak pop on the left side. Cano getting tied up.
Fiers reached back a little bit, getting a 91 on that high fastball.
In Seattle wins this year, Cano has driven in 60. In their losses, only 27 RBIs. So he's been a big part of what they've done. And the cat and mouse going on. Again, the 1-2. And that curveball completely gets away from Fiers. And now again, Evan Gattis goes out to the mound.
Yeah, he's saying don't throw that one again.
We don't need that pitch. With a man at second, Aoki. Evan Gattis has been out to the mound now 3 times with Cano at the plate.
Yeah, that's always a concern that the runner at second base is picking up those signs. Not that Robinson Cano needs another advantage, but if he can get one, he's going to use it.
Did it bother you as an infielder having the catcher and pitcher change signs on you?
No. And it's one of those things I wouldn't run in just because I didn't want to take it, bring attention to the fact that they might be onto the signs. I just let those guys go out there and figure it out for themselves. I just concerned myself with playing some defense behind them. I didn't want to be a wrench in what they were trying to get done.
When Fiers has turned to the heater on Cano, he's come in each time. Cano, a 7-time All-Star. Finished second in the Rookie of the Year voting in 2005. And again, up and in with that fastball at 91.
He is executing some pretty good pitches. The only pitch in this sequence that's really been awful is that breaking ball that kind of got away from him a little bit. That's all Cano's doing, is trying to foul off the nasty stuff, hoping to get a mistake.
It was Houston Street who beat out Cano for the Rookie of the Year honors. That, of course, 2005. Big 2-2 pitch. Popped up on the infield. It's Gurriel with the call and the catch, and a huge out recorded by Mike Fiers. He gets through the 6th as the M's strand a man at second base. 2-0 Houston. Is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. And by Bank of America. Life's better when we're connected. Mount Rainier. And that photo was taken by Colin McHugh, last night's winning pitcher. Nice job, Colin.
It's gorgeous. Last time we were here, wasn't it Valbuena that went up to the hiking on that thing with his family?
I think I did hear that story. And the story tonight, 2-0 Astros, 2 runs coming in the 6th inning. The first inning that saw the Astros even have a base runner against James Paxton. And now Evan Gattis leads off in the 7th. And how about that last big out picked up by Mike Fiers against Robinson Cano?
That was a great battle.
1-1 on Evan. Line drive dropping in right field. It's a base hit. Leadoff single, Gattis. He's aboard from Marwin Gonzalez.
Good swing by Evan getting that knock. He's had some big swings throughout the year for the Houston Astros, and this is our Ford spray chart. It shows you all those home runs that Evan Gattis is hitting. He does not like to go to the opposite field. He likes to get out around it, hook that thing, drive it to left field. 25 of the 27 of that left field area.
But it's now about the base running for Evan. He's at first. Marwin Gonzalez 0 for 2 is lined to right field in the corner in the 2nd. And then popped up to end the 5th inning. And I think Marwin really felt like he missed a pitch he could get to that time.
I tell you what, he's until those couple hits, Marwin Gonzalez was the only guy that actually looked comfortable in the box against Paxton early on. Because that ball he hit to right field, Seth Smith ran it down. If he doesn't, that's an easy double. And I agree with you. The pop-up, he just missed it.
Yeah, he had that look of, boy, did I miss one to handle. Evan Scribner now, right-hander loosening for Seattle. And Chris Stavinsky continues to loosen for Houston. There's Scribner. The insurance would be well received right about now for the Astros. Oh, 2 the count. Mike Zunino's done a nice job all night with that slider in the dirt. Marwin at 254 on the year. And against Seattle on his career, he's hit 11 home runs while hitting .319. He takes inside. 2-2 the count. It's a guy with 37 career home runs, 11 against Seattle. And another one of those good swings. Really feeling like a grinder right now for these two teams.
He's done a phenomenal job with the TV tape too. I mean, well up the forearm.
Takes some work, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's ample.
We called them power bands. What was your terminology?
TV tape.
TV tape. Well, just call it what it is, I guess. Slider for the strikeout. First out here in the inning. 6 strikeouts recorded by Paxton. And with 1 out, it brings up Teoscar Hernandez.
Good depth on that breaking ball from Paxton. Gets Marwin to swing over the top.
Teoscar had the first hit of the night for the Astros. Came around and scored the first run. Tyler White followed that base hit by Teoscar with a double. The Astros put runners at 2nd and 3rd, nobody out, but it looked like Paxton was going to get out of the inning. as he got Marisnick and Springer. But then with 2 outs, Yuli Gurriel coming up with a big 2-run single. And that's everything that's on the board right now. Yeah, Teoscar Hernandez, one of the guys that has come up and contributed and looked like a real major league player since he's been up. Good swing. He fouls it straight back. 2-2. Tyler White waits on deck. Good breaking ball. Freezes Teoscar Hernandez. Back-to-back strikeouts now. Gonzalez and Hernandez, 2 outs. Gaddis still at first base for Tyler White.
Good breaking ball, very similar to the one we saw punch out Marwin Gonzalez.
Paxton has pitched well, but trailing 2-0. Tyler White with that double in 2 at-bats. Tyler White has made some great strides, at least to the eye here, this most recent time with the club. Very aggressively after the heater. 0-2 the count. Paxton brings the 0-2. High heat. White starts the bat. They appeal to first, and that yields no swing. American League Player of the Week, week number 1 this year, Tyler White. Hit to right field. Right at Smith. He'll make the play. That'll do it for Houston in the 7th. They get the leadoff single in Strand Gaddis as Chris Davinsky is coming on to work at 2-0 Houston.
Leading 2-0 over the Mariners. 2016 Coca-Cola Astros Buddies memberships are on sale now for only $25. Buddies members receive a voucher for 4 tickets to a select game, front of the line access to kids run the bases, exclusive player autograph sessions, and more. Visit astros.com/buddies for all the details and to purchase a membership for kids up to 12 years old.
Great sights at Minute Maid Park. And here in Seattle, the Astros trying to make it 2 straight over the M's. They turn to Chris Davinsky now in the 7th inning, leading it 2-0. That whip at 091 tells a great story on Davinsky. Turns to the changeup to start it as Nelson Cruz swings through the pitch in the dirt. Solid start by Mike Fiers tonight, even well beyond solid. Fiers 6 innings, 3 hits allowed, no runs against him, 1 walk and 4 strikeouts, 92 pitches to get through it, and no bigger outs recorded than those of Seth Smith and Robinson Cano, with a man at second base in the 6th inning.
Yeah, that was an impressive way to shut down that 6th inning.
And the change gets Cruz out, number 1. So the cleanup man down. It brings up 5-hitter Kyle Seager.
Good job by Devo. This kid is gaining in confidence throughout the course of the season, and A.J. Hinch has gone to him some tougher situations here late in the season, trying to create that bridge, getting to that back end of the bullpen. Gregerson, Giles, Will Harris out there.
Seager takes a strike at the knees. Again the change. Seager has flied to left twice this evening. And he just slaps one through the left side with that shift on. It's a 1-out single. Seager 1 for 3. It brings up Dae-Ho Lee.
Good guy to double up in Dae-Ho Lee.
Yeah, if he puts the ground ball to one of the infielders, you should have the double play very easily. But that dangerous power bat, 14 homers. He takes the fastball, so Davinsky maybe crosses up Lee after a couple of change-ups to start things.
Being able to throw 94 helps out too.
Boy, that's really nice to see.
Fiers went out there with 87 to 88, pitched effectively.
Dae-Ho Lee has homered once against the Astros this year. Now 9 for 39 against the Astros. A double and a dinger. That looked to be that aggressive swing where you're going to get a fastball and juice it. Davinsky comes up and in hard. Lee did not play in last night's game. Infield fairly straight up against the right-hand hitter. Two and two. And that bullpen heats up for the Mariners. Scribner continues to throw. Cishek, the other right-hander. And a big strikeout. Not a great location from Davinsky, but the change gets the punch out. 2 in the inning, 2 down, and it brings up Leonys Martin.
Yeah, not the best off-speed pitch we've seen from Davinsky, but enough to get the swing and miss.
Martin 0 for 2 on the night. One of the beliefs on Davinsky, for those who wonder why he's not a starter, is that he's effective maybe at his best one time through the batting order. But he just continues to be a dominant force out of the bullpen. 0-2 on Martin. Now the shift on in the infield. Carlos Correa on the right side. Soft liner going to dunk in left field. Teoscar comes on. He'll hold Seager at second. But on the 0-2, Davinsky turned to the changeup once again, and Martin just flipped it on the left side. 2 hits in the inning. Catcher Mike Zunino comes to the plate.
Yeah, that's not on Devo. That's not on the shift. That's just luck right there on Leonis Martin's part. Just putting the ball in play, because that was a good changeup just off the end of the bat. Just able to nudge it out there into the outfield for that knock to keep this inning alive.
Evan Gattis has been out to the mound numerous times and making sure that he's getting the message through. Martin snapped an 0 for 8 with that base hit. And now Mike Zunino, strikeout victim twice this evening. Both of those picked up by Mike Fiers. Runners lead from first and second. And again, the changeup from Davinsky. Chris is 25 years of age. Now Luke Gregerson will get it loose. Back-to-back seasons now with 11 home runs for Zunino. Ball and a strike. Devo has great confidence in his change, the breaking ball. He'll almost use the fastball the way others use changeups. 2-1. And I'm sure one of the comments in the dugout before you come to the plate against Davinsky is, don't offer on pitches out of the strike zone. That changeup can be one of those pitches that gets a lot of swings. Good heater at 96. 2-2 the count.
Glad to see him get back to that heater. You don't want to lose the effectiveness or the desire to get back to that fastball.
Great changeup, but you throw it over and over and somebody's going to sit. 2-2 pitch. Just away with the heater.
Saw a pitch earlier, an off-speed pitch in the similar zone get called, but not the heater this time.
We've talked about the radar gun here in Seattle, maybe a little juiced up. 97 on that fastball. And now the runners will be on the move. Change got him. Not in the strike zone, but a very big strikeout. 3 in the inning for Devo. Mariners leave a pair. We played 7. 2-0 Houston. Is that the slider? It was. I was watching.
Copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of Houston Astros, LLC, and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Houston Astros, LLC.
Welcome back. 2-0 game here. Astros leading the Mariners top of the 8th. Come celebrate your birthday the Astros way. Surround yourself with the excitement of cheering on the Astros while throwing a birthday party at Minute Maid Park. For more information, visit astros.com or call 713-259-8996. Ash?
Thank you, Julia. You staying warm?
I'm warm enough. I'm just glad the roof's closed. That was exciting earlier as they opened it just in time for it to rain.
Totally planned.
We're all good now.
All about timing. We're glad you're comfortable. We go to the 8th inning, 2-0 Stros. Jake Marisnick leads off. He'll do it against new right-hander Evan Scribner.
Scribner's got a fastball, curveball, slider. Does not throw very hard. Relies on location and mixing up speeds.
6th year now in the major leagues for Scribner. Curveball line and a leaping grab at third by Seager. Out number 1.
Man, great swing, better play. Seen Jake Marisnick swinging a pretty good bat. He had a good night last night. Here stays back on the breaking ball and laces one. Seager playing in, elevates to make the play.
That's about the swing of that double that plated 2 last night.
Yeah.
1 out, top of the order. George Springer 0 for 3 on the night. A couple of strikeouts for George. Curveball hit in the air to left center field and fairly deep. Going back and making a running grab is Martin.
Tell you what, Scribner's not fooling anybody with that breaking ball. George stays back and hammers this one. Leonys Martin gets on his horse and makes a great play running under the track.
2 outs. Yuli Gurriel comes to the plate. And his swing in the 6th inning, the biggest swing of the night, a 2-out, 2-run single into left field. As the Astros lead 2-0 here in the 8th inning. The Yankees losers today, 6-5 at Boston. The Tigers fall in 10 to Cleveland, 1-0. Baltimore gets dumped by Tampa Bay in Baltimore, 5-2. And the Orioles have a great home record this year. Just inside, 1-2 on Gurriel. So the stars are aligning very well here this evening for the Astros. Textbook by Zunino on those curveballs in the dirt. In the air, center field. Martin will just walk it in and make the catch. A 1-2-3 8th inning turned in by Scribner. Through 7.5, Astros lead at 2-0. Sports is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. By Jack in the Box. Taste the all-new Jack's Brewhouse Bacon Burger. That's today at Jack in the Box, limited time only at participating restaurants. And by Lexus. Try the all-new Lexus ES and ES Hybrid. It's next level luxury. Back at the aquarium here in town, but at the ballpark, it's the Astros on top of the Mariners 2-0. And the Astros with a golden opportunity tonight to move up in that wild card chase. Luke Gregerson will work the 8th.
Last time Luke was out there was on the 13th, back at home against Texas. Picked up his 13th hold on the season. Went 1 inning, punched out everybody in that inning for a total of 3.
Strike at the knees to start things. Jason Castro is now the new catcher for Houston. Colby Rasmus takes over in left field. Castro in the 5 spot in the batting order. And Rasmus is hitting 7th. Ground ball right side, backhanded by Marwin. He'll feed on to Luke, and out number 1. And Marwin continues to play well on that first base side.
Seems to be in the right place at the right time, and then you add that good range to it. Makes him a very good first baseman.
Davinsky gave up a couple of hits in his outing, but he also struck out the 3 in the frame. Chris Davinsky toting a 2.05 ERA. Aoki, the leadoff man at the plate. Late as he fouls one left side.
Watch out, Julia. Man, what is the deal?
Nobody's hurt.
Everybody good down there?
New parting of the hair apparently there.
Jeez.
I'm checking on everyone.
Yeah, seriously, that was a little
He's
too
good.
close.
We're good, but it went right over his head.
We're checking on you,
Look,
Julia.
it knocked his poor headset off. I'm good. I'm good.
1 ball and 1 strike. Aoki's had a perfect night, a single, double, and a walk. But after singling in the first inning, picked off by Mike Fiers, and that may have been a very big play as things work out. Ground ball back up the middle. Correa to his left. Gloves and throws, but not in time. Aoki gets down the line well, his 3rd hit of the night, and a nice effort by Carlos Correa.
Just hit hard enough to where Carlos Correa couldn't get his body in position to make that throw a little bit quicker. You could see on that reach, took him 2 more steps to come up out of that run to make the throw.
Yeah, if that ball stays up, it probably makes it much easier, right?
Yeah. If you get that higher hop, keep the body in the right position to make that throw. But having to reach down and out for it kind of gets you out of position a little bit.
Instead, Aoki aboard for the 4th time tonight. 1 out for Seth Smith. 1 for 3 for the Mariners right fielder. Ball and a strike. Seattle now with 6 hits. They've out-hit the Astros 6-4 on the evening. But one of those 4 hits for Houston so timely, that by Yuli Gurriel. 2-0 the count.
Gregerson can get him some ground balls. He's got that good sinker.
The Astros staying away from the full shift now on Smith. They've got Correa on the left side of second, but swung in the bag's direction. Smith may have been looking for a little more than that sinking fastball.
Well, that thing darted down in a hurry. It's at 2-0 swing mode.
And now 3-1. And you've got Cano, Cruz, and Seager coming to the plate. Last couple of innings, a lot of stepping out by the hitters. Meetings at the mound. Both teams grinding as they hope to get to the postseason play. Steady influence for Seattle. Scott Service. So many catchers. Former catchers managing major league teams, and you've got two of those teams here this evening. A.J. Hinch, former #1 pick. (3-2). Hit deep to right field. Springer going back. He's not going to get there. This will go to the wall. Aoki being waved home. He'll score on a double by Smith. And it's a one-run game. 2-1 Houston. One out here in the 8th inning, and Robinson Cano coming to the plate. And Aoki with one out gets it started. They're going to pinch run for Seth Smith.
We saw that swing on the 2-0 count from Seth Smith where he was trying to drive it. It was a very good pitch from Gregerson. This one, not so much. Stayed elevated in the strike zone, and Seth Smith squared it up.
Ben Gamble is the pinch runner at second base. Correa playing right behind his left shoulder. And a nice job by Castro blocking this slider in the dirt. So Gregerson touched up now. Got Marte to start the inning. But then the single by Aoki, infield style. Seth Smith with the double. Correa right in position to take a pickoff throw if Gregerson considers going that way. One and one on Cano. And there's Ken Giles getting ready for what he hopes is a lead going to the bottom of the 9th inning. He's heating up as if there's a possibility he could be summoned here in the 8th. Nelson Cruz is the next hitter. And would you want to have Giles facing Cruz might be the question. The 1-1. Just waving through out in front, Robinson Cano.
Wow. Good pitch. Don't see that too often. It's not a comfortable hack from a guy who swings the bat well.
And we mentioned Cano not putting up big numbers in September. It has continued to this point. Seven hits now for Seattle. Almost the same pitch. Cano gets a piece.
How did he hit that
ball
know. Where he hit it? Baseball's incredible.
If I had swung at that, that would have been all in my shin. Not bouncing off my shin, but deep inside.
I mean,
yeah,
that was crazy.
1-2. Good crowd on hand. Did the bat go through? Yes. Home plate umpire takes it. Paul Emmel says Cano goes through, and that's 2 outs now here in the 8th inning. Still at second is Gamble.
Big strikeout. Great job by Castro getting down there to make sure to keep this ball in front. Anticipated it, got down. Cano unable to hold back. Big out.
And now it's down to Nelson Cruz. Cruz on his night 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Castro now the man out at the mound.
Mariner fans are not a fan of Astro catchers going to the mound at all.
There have been a few trips now, haven't there? Evan Gattis became a resident of the mound. Cruz the 4 hitter, and that was Seth Smith who came up with the RBI double in the inning. In the air, shallow left center field. Correa out and calling and makes the catch. Jake Marisnick darting off to his left, and so Gregerson gets through the 8th inning. He allows a run. To the 9th we go, 1-0. Make that 2-1 Astros.
As we head to the 9th inning, and Houston Methodist is going to bring us our tonight's league leaders. Altuve approaching another 200-hit season. That would make it 3 straight for him. And we are looking at recent streaks of 3+ consecutive seasons with 200+ hits. Last to do it was Ichiro Suzuki. He had 10 200+ consecutive hit seasons. Derek Jeter on that list. Michael Young had 5. Wade Boggs was 7. There's some high-quality hitters on that list.
You know that Don Mattingly is on that list as 3 consecutive years. Maybe surprising to me because he was a home run hitter as well.
Yeah.
But then again, so is Jose Altuve.
This year he is, and he's putting it all together, isn't he?
Nick Vincent now works in the 9th inning. 30-year-old right-hander. Another one of the guys out of Cal State Long Beach.
Dirt bag.
Altuve takes a strike. 0 for 2 on the night. He was walked intentionally in the 6th. Needs 2 more hits to get to 200. as a 1-1 count. Vincent now in his 5th year in the major league. Started with the Padres. Came up in 2012. Has gone 12-10 lifetime in the bigs. Good ERA, 2.88. Altuve, Correa, and Gaddis make that Rasmus now, with that lineup changed in the previous half inning.
Why are they going to mess with us like that?
I think you're safe. Marte with the play. First out here in the 9th inning. Good time to check in with Julia.
Tune in Monday for your chance to win 2 round-trip tickets on Southwest Airlines and our Want to Get Away sweepstakes. Watch for the winning word during live Astros games next week and visit rootsports.com/wantogetaway for your chance to win. Ash?
Yeah, thank you, Julia. A lot of Astros fans have gotten away to Seattle. So Altuve 0 for 3 on the night. Carlos Correa stands in. He's 0 for 3. Struck out in the 2nd inning and takes a strike. Vincent has been very good, stingy in terms of giving up hits, just 7.3 per 9 innings on his career. But there's a base hit by Correa, so he gets his first of the night. 1 for 4, 2-out single. He's aboard for Colby Rasmus now in the 5 spot.
Good to see Correa getting on the board with that knock.
Correa held on by Dae-Ho Lee. Colby Rasmus stands in at 207. 15 long balls. Lays off on the high heater. Colby's on base percentage this year struggling along with the batting average. 287 on the on base. Gets tied up. Little looper shallow in left field coming on hard. Aoki, he gets there. He'll fire back to first, but back in is Correa. 2 down. Correa still at first for Marwin Gonzalez. Marwin 0 for 3 with the bat tonight. He's played another strong game at first base defensively. Two runs, 5 hits for Houston. 1 run, 7 hits for the Mariners. Mike Fiers stands to win it if the Astros can hang on. Yankees, Tigers, and Orioles all lose today.
I don't know if I've mentioned it, but I'm a big fan of that second wild card. I love that it keeps everybody engaged this late in the season. You've got several teams that have an opportunity to make up that ground and sneak into the playoffs.
And you remember last year the Astros were that second wild card. It puts you in a tough spot. You've got to play one game with the other wild card team in their ballpark. The Astros went into New York and downed the Yankees.
And played extremely well against the Kansas City Royals. If it wasn't for a couple of outs, they might have snuck in there and ambushed, because we've seen, I think the Giants were a wild card team that won the World Series.
Well, we've seen, I believe, well, if I'm not mistaken, at least 3 wild card winners through the years.
And that's all it's about, is getting that ticket to the dance. It's what you do after that. You get in, get hot at the right time, line up your pitching the way you want, and get some bats going. It could be dangerous. I think that's what makes it so enjoyable.
I'm with you. I think it's been really good for the sport, for the fans. Carlos Correa is a guy Nick Vincent believes might be running. Ball and a strike on Marwin. Ken Giles continues to loosen for the Astros. He will be set for the 9th inning, and he'll face the 5, 6, 7 spots, Seager, Dejo, Lee, and Martin as they currently stand. Right on the fist. Looper to short. That's handled by Marte, and that does it for the Astros. They get the hit by Correa and strand him to the bottom of the 9th inning. There's Mr. Giles coming on to lock it down.
Seattle Mariners. Come get a behind-the-scenes look at Minute Maid Park. Learn all about the park by visiting areas like the historic Union Station, luxury suites, the Diamond Club, and much more. For more information, visit astros.com/tours or call 713-259-8996 to schedule your tour today. And the closer, Ken Giles, is on for the Houston Astros. Making that 63rd appearance. Last time out, had a blown save against Texas on the 13th. Went 1 inning, gave up 2 hits, 2 earned runs, only threw 16 pitches.
The numbers say left-hand hitters have had a really tough time against him. 2 of the 3 lined up to hit now in the 9th inning. Bat from the left side. So here we go.
And that slider has been virtually unhittable.
That it has. Seager 1 for 3 tonight, takes a strike. And Giles really believes in that slider. Giles from the stretch. Again, the slider, good looking pitch.
Wow, that was a good pitch.
Called a ball. It's 1-1. 32,304 on hand tonight. Let's take a look at that one.
Gosh, you'd like to have that called.
It's an easy strike. That's ball
right
in the box. Yep. Don't know how you missed that. And now 2-1. Yeah, Paul Emmel's been good tonight, but you're right. That slider is right in his eyesight there. Three men on the right side of the infield. 99 on the Heat. Giles just 25 years of age. 2 years with the Phillies, now in his first year with the Astros. And this is exactly what the Astros envisioned when they picked him up. A closer, that power arm to lock games down. Seager offers. It's still 2-2. A.J. Hinch and Trey Hillman. Hillman, the bench coach for the Astros.
Did you just say Harry Hillman?
Kind of looks that way, right? Love the glasses.
Sorry.
Ground ball right side. Right there is Correa. And a big first out here in the 9th inning.
Yeah, that first out of the inning, pretty much in every inning throughout the game, but it seems like it's even more important in save situations for that closer to get that first guy out, keep him off the bases.
Seager might have swung at ball 3, a fastball up, but 1 out for Dae-Ho Lee. Center fielder Leonis Martin waits on deck. Good slider for a called strike. Infield straight up. Giles with the ball and a strike. Lee, one of those power sources for this powerful Seattle club. Third in the league in home runs. Fastball taken at the knees. 1-2. And you almost have to commit to one pitch or the other when you're facing a guy that throws this hard.
When you have a fastball pumped in there at 99, you're kind of hoping that ball dives out of the zone, but it just flattens out and rushes through the strike zone.
The 1-2 slider got him. Called on the outside edge, and now 2 outs in the 9th inning with the bases empty as Leonis Martin comes to the plate.
I'm not sure that was a strike, but that was a filthy pitch. That was a great slider off the outside edge. Didn't get him to chase, but painted that outside corner. Very nice.
It's where you want to put it as a pitcher.
Exactly.
That's for certain.
It was a very good point, especially in that 2-strike count. That was nice.
Down to an out. The Astros trying to make it 2 straight here as they come into Seattle. Martin sees that fastball blow right over the bat. It's 0-1.
Get it ready.
Mike Zunino waits on deck. Outfield shaded a bit toward left on Martin. Another heater and another strike. 0-2. All fans know that feeling. Giles brings it. Slider got him. And Giles comes in and strikes out a pair in the 9th inning. A 1-2-3 frame locks down a second straight for the Astros against the Mariners. And the Astros have moved up a game. In fact, have caught the Mariners now, who started this series 2 games in front of the Astros, as we look at that finishing pitch.
Good clean inning from Ken Giles, rebounding from that rough outing he had against the Texas Rangers where he blew the save and took the loss. Came back with a great fastball. We saw a couple at 100 miles an hour. Also